Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, can the Rockets pull off the upset against the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals? Plus, Eric Mangini explains why the Patriots have bigger concerns than Brady and Belichick's relationship. And did James Harden rescue his reputation with his performance on Tuesday night? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. The Rockets held the Warriors to just 12 points in the fourth quarter to win 95-92 last night. Golden State was down 2 in the final seconds with Kevin Durant dribbling up the court. They did not call a timeout, and Durant passed to Klay Thompson, who threw up an air ball. The series is now tied 2-2 with Game 5 back in Houston. Let's take a listen to Mike D'Antoni and Steve Kerr after the game.
I thought this is the highest level we've ever played defensively, without a doubt, because you're talking about maybe the best offensive team ever, and they got on a roll. Even we're down 12 to zip. There was some good defense in there to just get us back, because it wasn't like we were lighting it up to get it back. So just a lot of stops and a lot of tough rebounds and getting loose balls, and we didn't get into foul trouble too early. It was just a lot of good things, great switching. And they got a little tired in the fourth quarter, and that's because they felt us for three quarters.
I felt like in the fourth quarter, we just ran out of gas. We scored 12 points. This game was sort of trench warfare. It was just everybody grinding it out, a lot of isolation. I guess this is the modern NBA.
We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Eddie House. Welcome back, Eddie. Good morning.
Good morning.
How surprising was the Rockets win?
Well, I was super surprised. I picked the Warriors to get it done last night, especially being at home, and surprised at the way they won the game. Being down 10 going into the fourth quarter, you could pretty much book it most of the times. But for whatever reason, you got to tip your cap off to Houston, because they made the shots in the fourth quarter when Golden State couldn't make the shots. Right. They took care of the basketball in the fourth quarter when the Warriors turned the ball over. So you have to tip your cap to them. And anytime you hold a team, this was a bizarre game anyway. And under 100 for both teams. These are offensive juggernauts. You're not expecting Golden State to be held to, 92 points. You expect Houston to get over 100, everybody to have over 100 points. But, again, I just think that the Warriors had their opportunities in the fourth quarter. Kerr alluded to it a little bit, that they might have ran out of gas, but they missing Iguodala, Klay Thompson a little gimpy out there. Those are things that you got to keep an eye on this movement forward in this series. But the Rockets, they were 7 for 20, 3 for 12 from three. Warriors 0 for 6. That's where the game was won right there in the fourth quarter, just making shots, missing shots. And we see the commercial. It's a make-miss league, and that's what happened last night.
Skip, am I surprised? Because I did pick them last week, remember? You asked me could they win a game. I said, yeah, they won game 4. So I'm not too surprised.
Yeah, this is the guy who yesterday was trying to weasel out of it all day. Get me out. Let me out of the bet. Let me out.
Now you're down to
do it
9
on game
cases.
5. Let me do it in game 5.
Did I win?
Yeah.
Can I have
You
my
won.
moment?
You won.
So now you get 9 cases of
And the most surprised guy on earth is that guy sitting right there.
I'm impressed with how they did it. Start the game, you're down 12-0. And as Mike D'Antoni alluded to somehow scratch and claw your way back. You absorb Steph Curry's barrage. 95 seconds, he throws up 11 points. You withstand that. You start the fourth, you're down. 10:45, you're down 12. You absorb that. Normally, you start the fourth quarter down in Golden State, guess what? You end the fourth quarter down at Golden State.
Especially when they go up 12 with 10:45 left, you're done.
Think about it. With Steph and KD, granted, Klay Thompson's a little gimpy, and we're going to see how that knee plays out over the next couple of days. But if you got those two guys on your roster, Skip, with 10:45 left, and you're up 12, you expect to walk home. That's a walk in the park.
Please.
You got 2 of the 5.
Done.
You got 2 of the top 5 players. Yeah.
Yep.
And for some reason, Chris Paul would not let them go away. PJ Tucker, 6'6", he's just whitewashing the boards. He's getting everything. He's tough. He's tenacious. You got to give them some credit. Yeah, they missed some shots that they normally make, but Houston challenged them also. You have to get after them. You got to muck the game up, Skip. And I think Houston, you see now, you can't outshoot this team. You got to mess the game up, make it yucky, make it like Demolition Derby, and hopefully the officials let you play.
They did.
Because they let them play.
Yep.
And you can win these type of ball games. You think you're going to win a 132, 128 ball game against Golden State? You're not winning that type of game, but you can definitely win this type of game.
So, my friend Eddie House, I have one exception to make to one point you made at the end of your opening salvo, and that is You said Golden State had its opportunities, had its open shots in the fourth quarter. I got to tell you, I didn't see them. I saw suffocating, physical, bully defense. I saw Houston get up in them the way I haven't seen anybody get up into that team at Oracle since Game 7, 2016. Again, there was no KD, but your team, your Cavaliers, just played football defense on them and took Steph and Clay out of that game. Remember, that was in the fourth quarter, it was 18-13. So Golden State scored 13 that night in the fourth quarter, and Steph was just pitiful. And he was pitiful again last night because he's a finesse player. Yes. And if the refs, there are a couple times he went to the basket and got knocked down. I'm going, that's not a foul.
Well, you remember, Skip, he tried to lay up and somebody moved out the way and he short-armed it.
Yeah, and then, because they're a little intimidated. I thought they just got physically whipped, overpowered. They got knocked out of their sets where I didn't see an open shot in the fourth quarter. I saw Durant make one fadeaway shot, which made Reggie Miller, prompted him to say on TNT, that's just too good, because it was.
It is.
But it was so good, that's all you got. And then twice at the end of clocks, he winds up with the ball, and he just flings up absurd-looking prayers, like pathetic prayers. And I tweeted, what are you doing? That's not Golden State basketball, but Houston just imposed their defensive will on Golden State in the fourth quarter. And they also, to your point about P.J. Tucker, they won the backboards in the fourth quarter, 16-8. They won the rebounds. That's a lot, 16-8. And you hold them to what was it, 3 for 18 and 0 for 6 from 3? That is a stunning defensive effort where you just took them out of the game, which brings us back to the last play of the game. That's why I didn't have a big problem with Steve Kerr not calling timeout, because I'm fearing if you call timeout and try to set up a play, you got no shot because they're just overpowering whatever set you run. And I thought, okay, let them play. Maybe they can create a shot on the fly. Maybe Houston won't get set on defense and you'll find a shot that you wouldn't find in the half-court set on inbounding the ball.
Skip, you mentioned that they got out-rebounded in the fourth quarter 16-8, but still Golden State out-rebounded them by 8. Let that sink in. They got out-rebounded by 8 in the yes. Yeah. Golden State out-rebounded them 49-41.
Wow.
So just imagine.
So that was it.
Yes.
They turned the whole tide.
When you missing shots, the other team gonna get the rebound more than likely. Unless
more than likely.
More than likely, you're going to get the defensive rebound, and you're not going to get off, and you might have 2 or 3 offensive rebound opportunities. And there were a couple wide open shots. Clay had one in the corner late in the game, and Steph had one on the right wing late in the game too, wide open when they were trying to, just stop the bleeding a little bit, just miss shots. KD, and that last play, you got to trust. I understand where Steve Kerr coming from. You trust your guys, and in the flow of the game, you might create a quick little mismatch to where you got. But once Clay caught the ball, it should be a timeout right there. You could see that it was, once he caught it and didn't have anything, you got to call a timeout. Let's set something up, draw something up. Because he still got a great look.
Hold on.
He still got that great look in the corner.
Well, hold on. I'm trying to figure out. You got the best player in the NBA. He's 7 foot tall, releasing the ball.
He should have went to work.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
He should have went to work, though. That's the first time I've seen KD not be super aggressive in that moment because, and you would have killed LeBron if he did that. But, But yeah, you would have killed him if you did that. But
many times, because many times he has done exactly that.
But KD should have took his time because he could get his shot from anywhere on the court when he wants to over anybody. And I would much rather live with getting an opportunity at the basket than a Hail Mary at the end. So I would take my chances with KD trying to go to work. But,
but if you
he'll live and learn from that.
Okay, look closely at the last play. He starts to his right, then he weaves over to his left, and they don't have a clue. It's an abomination of no play. They've got everybody on the left side.
Yeah, no spacing.
And it's just, there's no spacing.
That's why you have to call the timeout.
Call timeout. Like it's such a jam of rocket bodies. He's got I want him to get to the rim and get fouled because he's the deadliest free throw shooter in the postseason.
And there was a play before that when James Harden missed a 3 on the right side. They were up 3 points. I thought D'Antoni should have called a timeout then to make sure let's get a 2-possession game. Let's get a real good opportunity, not just just shoot up a 3 because this is all I got and just a bailout. I think that's a bailout shot for a lot of times.
What goes unnoticed is that Eric Gordon, KD is not Eric Gordon's guy, but he's taught to do what? stopped the ball.
He did.
So he jumps KD and forces him to go left.
He did.
Because it looks like KD wants to go right.
That's where he should have just backed up. Hey, y'all, flat. Let me take care of this real quick.
But they didn't clear the side for him. He weaves to the left, and Steph stays there. Livingston comes there, and Draymond
That's when you got to call a timeout. And Steve Kerr said he was trying to, but he's on the back end over there. All the refs' eyes are looking at the play.
Looking at Klay Thompson.
You got to come whistle.
Well, Draymond.
But Draymond is behind
Draymond
the
was
plate.
behind him too, standing close to half court.
But I know a guy. You put his ball in his hands, you already know. He gets trapped, he gonna call timeout. He gonna do what's right. He always, and I keep telling you, Skip, I told you this last year.
Wait a second.
It's never the wrong decision to make the right play.
Really? For most people, the right play when you're 6'9", 270, and you can explode like that man can, the right play is to get to the free throw line, which is the last place you want to see LeBron, and the first place you want to see Kevin Durant.
What'd you just say? The ref will let them play football. So the ref's not going to call. They're going to swallow the whistle.
At Oracle, for the home team, you're going to get this call if it's Kevin Durant.
You got hey, Eddie, check this out. You got a 7-foot drone that can rise up over everybody, survey the land, and just, he's the greatest mid-range. Skip told me the guy from 15 to 20, he's the greatest that's ever done it in the NBA. And you mean to tell me now all of a sudden a shot taker, a shot maker tries to turn into a playmaker? At the end of the day, I'm going to live with who you are.
You got him over Kobe, mid-range game?
No. Of today's NBA or all time?
All time.
All time.
Oh, no, as far as the 15-foot jump shot, I'll take Kevin Durant at 7 feet tall.
Over Kobe?
I will.
Ooh.
I will.
Well, he had a 15-footer right there. Why didn't he take it?
He had about 18 feet.
Okay, that's well within his range.
Well, at one step.
Okay,
with the big feet
but what was
15.
my first thought was, what does he do that LeBron doesn't do very well? Shoot free throws. Again, he's 27 for 27 in this series. He was 4 for 4 in the fourth quarter last night. He's 8 for 8 in this series in the fourth quarter. And overall in these playoffs and fourth quarters, he's 18-19. I'm just hoping he gets hacked. Just take it to the rim. You're 7 feet tall and get to the free throw line. What are the odds he's going to make both those free throws high?
I want you to be who you are. If you're a shot taker and a shot maker, be that. But if you're a playmaker, like my guy, he'll take a shot, he'll make a shot, or he'll assist. I mean, I can't lose.
No mercy. Hey guys, Joy Taylor here. More Undisputed is on the way, but first, a quick word from our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings. At Buffalo Wild Wings, we'll admit that we often go overboard with our limited time offerings. We just can't help ourselves. Take our new signature sampler for $15. You get wings and 3 shareable options like fried pickles or cheese curds. Then there's our aptly named over-the-top nachos, a literal mountain of crispy tortilla chips loaded with your choice of pulled pork or honey barbecue grilled chicken, corn, jalapenos, and more. Then top it all off with our new Platinum Margarita. Go overboard with us today at Buffalo Wild Wings, Wings, Beer, Sports. Available for limited time while supplies last. Please drink responsibly. Now, back to the show. No mercy. James Harden has been criticized a lot for not showing up in big playoff games, but he may have changed that reputation last night. He had a huge dunk on Draymond Green in the second quarter and finished with a game-high 30 points as the Rockets got a huge win at Golden State. Shannon, did Harden help his image last night?
Absolutely. That second quarter, because everybody's going to say, well, he only had like 6 points in the second half. He only scored 2 points in the fourth quarter. But without his second quarter, the fourth quarter does not even matter. He had those 2 threes, Skip, and then he had that monster flush that energized it. And remember, Skip, he played some great defense on KD in that sequence. He picked his pockets clean at the top of the key. He got a deflection, grit to lay the ball up. They came, he dished it off to Chris Paul and got him going. Now, Chris Paul tagged along, but James Harden had 15 points. He had 24 first-half points. He only had 30. I get it. But you know what happened. They were down 9 to start the second quarter. If James Harden doesn't do what he does, that thing's about to get ugly. Like it got in game 3 when they ended up losing by that dirt by 41. James Harden said, nah, not today. He said, y'all done, castigated say all these bad things about me, Skip. Got people thinking I can't play, I don't show up in big games. Well, let me show you what I'm going to do. We got to stop this narrative. No, we don't have to. You got to stop the narrative that says, okay, well, he didn't do anything in the fourth quarter. Well, sometimes there are things that lead up to that. Because if you don't do certain things, you're not going to be in position. The fourth quarter's not going to matter. James Harden had a tremendous first half, awesome second quarter, which allowed them. Now, I thought they were out of it again come third quarter time because Golden State go on another run. But, Skip, I think James Harden changed because if he'd have came up small again, that would have been real bad. He's still trying to dig out that avalanche that he got himself up on in Game 6 at home against the San Antonio Spurs. But last night will go a long way into rehabilitating that image. I thought he played. Did he play great? No. But I thought that second quarter in the first half allowed them to be close enough where they had to lead it to start the third, but put them in position, Skip Bayless, for them to do what they did. James Harden was phenomenal in the first half, and he did well.
I will give you only one point that you just made, and it was your first point. You called it the monster flush, the posterizing of one Draymond Green. It was a spectacular, resounding statement that James Harden made for his basketball team because his bench flew off the bench. They were all just spinning with joy because it was shocking. I didn't know James Harden had that in him because he is a finesse driver of the basketball.
James Harden didn't know he had that in him.
It just happened, and it happened right in Draymond's face. And I thought Draymond had drawn a bead on getting a hand on ball, and he whiffed. He airballed the ball, and the ball got slammed right in his kisser. And it was so spectacular that I think it resounded through the rest of the game. I think it ignited the Rockets to play defense the rest of the game. It showed them we got a guy who can match any spectacular thing Steph or KD do the rest of the game. Nobody can top that. That was the play of the night, and it was the statement play of the night. Now, I disregard all what you talked about in the first three quarters because in the fourth quarter, that play, that Game 6, James showed up, that versus San Antonio, the James Harden who went missing in Game 6 without Kawhi Leonard or Tony Parker playing for the Spurs. And I don't even want to go because I'd be piling on to even dredge up the stats of that game. But I am going to dredge up the stats of last night's fourth quarter because that was, quote unquote, playoff James, as in, quote unquote, way off James. Because do you realize James Harden in the fourth quarter last night had 0 assists? Do you realize he got to the free throw line 0 times? That's James Harden, who leads the league in free throw shooting, right, in attempts. He goes 1 for 4 from the field for 2 total points in the fourth quarter. He misses all 3 threes, including what would have iced the game that led to the Kevin Durant blunder at the end of the game, but he could have just slammed the door shut. There would have been no Kevin play that would have mattered after that with 15 seconds left.
But it had to happen because I needed to expose your argument.
Okay, so you got your wish. But the point is that guy just disappeared, and that guy got saved by the least likely rescuer, by Chris Paul III, as I used to call him, CP0, as in 0 rings, and this is obviously his first ever conference finals. But I applaud him. I have nothing but respect today for CP3 because he stood tall in the fourth quarter. He played unbelievable on both ends of the floor, and he made so many statement shots in the fourth quarter.
That three in Clay's face, that story that was huge.
That was huge. But how about this? Livingston dunks, and all of a sudden they're up 12, 10:45 to go, and I told you earlier in the show, I would have called you then and made it
double
10. No, not double. I would have bet you 10 cases of Diet Mountain Dew that Golden State would close that deal. What happened? Chris Paul went right back down the floor and made a 17-foot jump shot. And it was like, no, we're not going to go away just yet. And then he makes a 12-foot pull-up about 2 minutes later, and that cut it back to 5. And you're saying, uh-oh, they're not going away. Then he makes that bomb shot that you talked to, 7:17 left. And then he feeds Ariza for the 3, remember, on the wing.
Yes.
That was Chris Paul getting in the lane and kicking it out. And Ariza makes the 3 that gives Houston its first lead in the fourth quarter. And I'm sitting back saying, this is happening. You could just see the body language of the Warriors. They look dead in the water.
And that one
shell shock.
Remember, he got in the lane and leaned in on Loney and put a one-handed, like 8-footer up in the back.
That was another one.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. The Rockets scored 50. They had 53 first-half points. James Harden had 24 of those.
Okay.
So without James Harden, you're not even in this ball game. If he doesn't have that monster first half, Skip, it's over. They're going to be down 20. You know, if they're down 20, they're not coming back. But the thing that happens, look, when we look at the Golden State Warriors, Skip, because they can shoot the ball so well, we really don't think there's ever a bad shot because we're so accustomed to them taking 30-footers, Steph and Clay, and making them. They had the lead, and they kept trying to go. They kept trying, like you said, they had a 12-point lead, and they tried to keep making it go 15, 18, 21 ball game. And they took some bad shots. Now, we call those bad shots when they don't go in, but those are shots that they're used to taking.
Yep.
They'll take shots quick in the shot clock, especially when Steph, because at one period in the third, Steph gets off 11 points in 95 seconds.
Yep.
So he felt like he had it going. But that's what allowed Houston to stay around, because they took some quick shots, some bad shots, and the next thing you know, a 12-point lead is now all of a sudden it's a 5. Chris Paul hits that 3, it's a 2, and the next thing you know, hold on, y'all ain't running high. We still see you. We see your tail lights. So now, at 10:45, like you said, you're down 12. The building's going crazy. They're like, hold on, with 3 minutes, we right here. And now all of a sudden, don't nobody want to shoot. Hey, you take a step. Now you take a KD. Here, let's pass this ball to Clay. Now, see, that's what you got to do with them, Skip. If you let Golden State, you let them jokers go running high in that crowd, and they start, and those Steph Curry. Man, look here, at some point in time, I wish, you know what, if LeBron James would have ever hit a 3 and start shimmying up the court, man, people will kill him. Steph Curry gets a pass.
I agree with that.
Man, he shimmy it, and he looking at his hand like, what happened? Ooh, left hand like a mat. Come on.
I agree.
Yeah, he be out there.
No.
But my guy don't do that. Because you know why? Because he expected. He shoot that ball, he expected to go in. Don't nothing
Wait,
faze him.
you mean your guy who stands under the goal after a and
We're talking about offense.
and he does this?
Yeah. Get off it. You know, you like to shake your shoulder. Hold on, Skip. Hold on, what you talking about? Hold on just a second now. I know you ain't talking about no defense. Because you talking about defense because you know Steph ain't playing no D, right?
No, I didn't say he's playing defense. No,
Okay,
no. But here's what happened. The Golden State Warriors, who've had a whole lot of success, they are now suffering from "are we there yet" syndrome, because they throw a 12-0 shot at them, hit them right in the jaw.
Right.
And it's like, can we rest now? Can we cruise? Can we shift into cruise control? And remember, they did not have Iguodala last night, and I'm not saying that's the reason they lost, but he is big for them because he does play better defense than Livingston plays defense. And they missed his minutes last night. They missed his savvy. They missed his grit, his toughness. They all had to play more minutes because he was out. And then they missed Clay for a while, and then Clay wasn't himself when he came back.
No.
And that bears watching, because I don't know how bad his knee is strained, but is it possible he's going to miss Game 5? It's possible.
But let me ask you a question, but Skip, what is Iguodala going to do about Kevin Durant shooting 9 of 24 and Steph shooting 10 of 26?
I don't know.
I don't know how he helps that.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe he plays better defense on James Harden. Maybe he plays better defense on Chris Paul. But they didn't shoot the ball well.
No.
They didn't lose because they held them to 94 points.
Yeah.
They normally get 94 by the end of the third quarter.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
Okay.
What if I told you 24 hours ago, sitting across from me at this table, that tonight in Game 4 at Golden State, James Harden will go 3 of 12 from 3, and Eric Gordon will go 1 of 8 from 3? What would you have told me? You would have said, uh-oh, right?
No, because I picked them to win, remember?
Oh.
I picked them last week.
You would have given me a big uh-oh.
I picked them last week. Remember I picked them, Skip?
Remember, this is the team that got, what do you call it, dirked in the game before. They lost by 41 points. So
that's what you got to do. Sometimes you got to set them up, Skip. Have them feeling good about themselves, like thought they were going to blow them out again. That's why I picked this game
what if I
last
told
week.
you yesterday that James Harden in the fourth quarter would score 2 points with no assists?
Nah,
and no free throws?
I'd have had
You'd
a
said,
big
well, I
concern.
don't know. I don't know.
I'd have had a big concern.
Right?
I'd have had a big concern.
Yeah.
But Skip, you keep underestimating what James Harden did in the second quarter, because he was phenomenal, Skip.
But what I'm saying is, Golden State goes cruise control. Like they get ahead 12-0, and then it's like, we got this. Our fans are rabid. They're the loudest. They're roarical, right?
Right.
And they take it not seriously enough. That you can just see their body language. They're on cruise. They're doing what LeBron does. They're resting. They're resting on offense and defense, and you can't rest against the Rockets.
No.
They're too mentally tough, and I never thought I'd say that about this Rockets team, but Chris Paul and P.J. Tucker and Mbah Moute have made them much physically, mentally tougher than they used to be.
Oh, yeah, Tuck and Ariza. Yeah. But the thing is, no, they kept Mbah Moute on the bench because I think D'Antoni realized, like, no, you costing us game. But Skip, if I would have told you, I said, okay, the Rockets are going to hold the Warriors to 39% from the field and 33% from the three-point line, you would say, you know what? They got a chance to win this game. Now, in Game 3, Skip, they let them shoot 58%, 52%, and 40% from three. You're not beating Golden State doing that.
No.
You're going to let them shoot 50% from the field and 40% from the three-point line? You're not beating Golden State. But you can beat them with this. Now, do you expect them KD to shoot another 9 or 24 and Steph to shoot 10 or 26? Clay 4-13. Now, if that happens again, the Rockets can beat them again.
Well, Chris Paul better play tall, stand tall.
Oh,
Better.
OCP giving it to him.
Well,
Not going to put anything on tomorrow night?
You might have to do a little.
you like the Rockets? You need the Rockets. You need them badly.
I don't need nothing.
Trust me, you do.
I just need that. I just need my guy to be healthy.
You do not need
Give him a
Golden State for a fourth time.
I need some rest.
Yeah. Well, you better take care of your business.
No mercy. The Celtics host the Cavs in Game 5 tonight. The series is tied 2-2 after the Cavs won the last 2 games at the Q. Boston is a perfect 9-0 at home in the playoffs, but LeBron is coming off a huge 44-point performance in the Game 4 win. Shannon, who wins and what's your score tonight?
I got the Cavs winning the closing, Skip. I got 98-94. LeBron will be LeBron. Last 3 games, 38 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, so I expect him to be spectacular. The question is, can he get those role players that did so well at home? Can they travel? Can they do what they did at home in these 2 games? Can they do that in TD Banks? Now, the one thing they cannot have happen is what happened in Game 2. Get careless with the basketball, not play defense, and allow the Celtics to score 36 points in the third quarter and flip this game from a 7-point deficit to a 9-point lead to start. I think it was a 7-point lead or a 9-point lead to start the fourth. As long as they take care of the basketball and these role players, you see, when I say role play, I'm not asking them to get me 25. I'm not asking them to get, just give me something in the teens. Can you give me that, JR? Can you give me something in the teens? Kyle Korver, hey, you keep doing what you're doing. Can we get George Hill? Ooh, George Hill been playing real well. Can we get that, Skip? You notice what I noticed, Skip? I don't know if you noticed this. I'm going to turn it over to you. You know the one guy I have yet to see the floor in the last 3 games? Old Rodney Hood. I bet he wish he had them on mop-up minutes now, huh, Skip? I bet he wish he had them on mop-up minutes. T. Lou said, don't worry about it. But we got this because they know. Now, they're going to fight hard, Skip, because they know they lose Game 5. They know it's over. They know they're getting on a plane, going to Cleveland, and Friday night it will end. So they're going to give their absolute best. So the Cavaliers should expect them to fight hard. Even if they get down 10, they get down 15. The Celtics are not going away. That's why I'm predicting a very close game. Cavs take care of the basketball, Skip Bayless. They got this. Got my floors on, Bron. Might have these on tonight. Give me these right there. Bron, appreciate that.
LeBron sent you those?
Shh. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that.
Did you paint those yourself?
No, don't do that. That's the
Painted that
little
on?
kiss. LeBron 15, old Ronnie Fig and Bron, they collab. Got this little thing nice. Got me all dripping out here, Skip.
You know, it sounded to me suspiciously like you were planting seeds of excuse just in case, because you got to say, well, I need this and this from this guy and this guy, but what about Bron? You know what I need?
What you need?
I need for LeBron to come out for 4 quarters and to be completely engaged for 4 quarters. And I don't want to hear another quote after this game about how I'm number 1 in the NBA on how tired I am after games. I don't want to hear it. I never heard it from Jordan. I've never heard it from anybody except LeBron James.
You never heard it?
And I need him to be engaged on both ends of the floor from jump. Attack mode on offense, and be the driving force of their defense the way he was in games 3 and 4 in Cleveland. If that doesn't happen, you're going to be in trouble, and he's going to be in bigger trouble because they put the Celtics in their place. They made a statement. They basically exposed the Celtics for what they are. The Cavaliers, I'm going to say it one more time, are just better than the Boston Celtics. The Celtics have no Kyrie. They have no Gordon Hayward. They don't even have Shane Larkin or Daniel Tice.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I'm just telling you, all those guys are sitting at the end of the bench in street clothes, and this has happened. It's 2-2, but as I told you the other day, the Cavaliers lead this series 2-2, as in all the momentum is theirs. They need to go in and keep on keeping on just the way they did in Game 4. They need to make an opening quarter statement that we are here to play defense as well as offense, because you know what happened last time in Game 2 in the opening quarter. LeBron hung, 21 on him? And the man he was supposed to be guarding, Jaylen Brown, scored 14 and just kind of canceled enough of the deficit. It was only a 4-point game after a quarter. That can't happen tonight. I expect the Cavaliers to win all 4 quarters narrowly tonight, to be just a little better each time. I think LeBron better be engaged all 4 quarters. He can't just play the first quarter and the fourth quarter the way he tried to in games 1 and 2 in Boston. And in the end, this should be over in 6 games. I thought it should have been over in 5 games. But tonight is the turning point. Tonight is crucial. As you know, history will tell you Game 5 just decides these series. And the Celtics still have home court advantage, but I don't think they have any psychological advantage. I think they know that they're just not as good as LeBron and company. And company came to play. I don't even care about how they score. I care about how Tristan plays defense on Al Horford. I care about how Kyle Korver plays defense on everybody. And George Hill can shut down Terry Rozier. That's what I care about. Because those guys are highly capable of playing pretty to very good defense.
You don't mind me asking, when they beat the Bucks, did Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, Shane Larkin, or Daniel Tice, did they play in that game? In those games?
No.
Okay, when they beat the 3 seed, the Philadelphia 76ers, did Kyrie, Gordon, Tice, or Larkin, did they play?
That was the biggest upset of the whole postseason.
Don't do that, Skip.
Well, it was.
No, it was not.
It was.
Hold on, how is it an
Your team would be in trouble against Philly
Can I
right
ask you a
now.
question?
You know it, and I know
How can it be an upset if the higher seed wins?
It happens.
Oh, so,
Basketball happens.
So they wouldn't consider that an upset.
Yeah.
The team that's lower seeded would need to win.
We might be seeing an upset in the Western Conference, even though Houston had, how many more wins? Like 8 more wins than Golden State?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
We're looking at an upset. All of a sudden, Houston's...
We're talking about Houston. We're talking about the Boston
Okay,
Celtics.
well, I'm just saying, here's what LeBron has in front of him. He could smell blood now that Houston just might knock off Golden State. Would that not be advantage LeBron? Wouldn't you rather play Houston in the finals than Golden State?
We want to play the team that comes out of the Western
Please, you
Conference.
don't. You know, and I know, in your heart of hearts, you're scared to death of Golden State.
We're worried about the Celtics. See, that's the problem that a lot of teams get run into. They start looking across the wall. Oh, that's who over there. No, you worry about what's in front of you.
Well,
when I get over there, then I'll worry about you. But right now, you're in front of me.
Okay, they're in front, but you got huge psychological momentum over them, and you need to go ahead and finish them off so that you can get your cherished and much-needed rest ahead of. Let these other 2 teams fight it out and nearly kill each other like Ali and Frazier in Manila, right? Let them do that to each other and go 7 games or whatever it's going to go to the last drop, and then let them try to turn around and get ready for Game 1 of the finals while you've had a week off. That's what could happen here. That's your carrot out there right now.
No, our carrot is that, we want to represent the Eastern Conference. We want to make it 8 straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we the beast of the East.
Would you rather play Houston or Golden State? Be honest.
Doesn't matter.
It does too.
As long as I got Bron.
Now you're trying to talk like you're LeBron. You actually believe you are LeBron.
No.
Yeah.
But Skip, as long as I got, you see how this guy's playing? Do you see how he's playing? Okay.
I have.
He's clearly the best player in the playoffs.
After games 1 and 3, you sat right in that of the Western Conference Finals. You sat right in that chair and made remarks like, "Uh-oh, I don't know about us against Golden State."
I mean,
right?
Look, they're gonna have 4 guys when it's all said and done. When they retire, 5 years after their retirement, they're gonna be in Springfield. They got 4 Hall of Famers. They got 3 of the 10 best shooters that's ever laced up gym shoes and shot a basketball in the NBA. So yeah, they're formidable folk. They got 2 MVPs, I mean, there are very few teams that can ever say that. They have 2 league MVPs on their team in their prime at the same time. Now, Magic and Kareem, they were MVPs on the team, but Kareem was not in his prime. These guys are in their actual sweet spot of their careers. So that's what they're up against. So, but we're not worried about them, Skip. The thing that I've always talked to LeBron about is to stay focused. It's the small stuff right here in front of us. Right, yeah.
Really?
You just didn't land on the moon. There are a lot of steps to get to the moon. There's a lot. The finals are going to be there, Skip. And we're going to be in them.
Which team would be more favored over Cleveland in the finals, Houston or Golden State?
Golden State.
Thank you. Okay, next question, Joy.
But no, because Golden State, they won the championship last year.
Yeah.
This will be their fourth appearance.
Yep.
They're going to be favored over everybody. Minus 750 against the Cavs, so you got to bet $750 to win $100. Minus 850. You got to bet $850 to win $100 if the Celtics make it. So they're overwhelming favorites over everybody.
So maybe the basketball gods are smiling on one LeBron James. All he needs to do is go take care of business tonight and go home and take care of business one more time, and you get your much-needed rest, maybe against the Rockets.
Yeah, that basketball god is looking in the mirror. He won LeBron.
Oh, he's the guy.
Oh, Goat James. Yeah.
Really?
The baddest man on the planet. And you saw it for yourself, Skip Bayless. Your guy, who you said refused to take. Now, you criticized. You remember Paul George? He called him George Paul because he passed the ball to C.J. Miles.
He did it.
That's what you did.
Well, he did it twice in one sequence.
Whoa. So Kevin
Against
Durant,
LeBron.
the greatest player on the planet, he going to pass the ball to a gimpy Klay
Yeah.
Thompson in the corner with nowhere to go?
Yeah, first mistake he's ever made.
Oh, don't do that, Skip.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
And
do that.
by the way,
oh, don't do
hey.
that. You remember he had a 3-1 lead?
And-
He had a 3-1 lead on Golden State. You remember Game 6?
Yeah, he was handicapped by his point.
Oh, my goodness, Skip Bayless. That same point guard that helped him get a 3-1 lead. Now, all of a sudden, he handcuffed him.
He did.
You saw, don't forget, Skip. Now, don't make me have Healy pull that tape of Game 6, how Kevin Durant was throwing up them bricks. Yeah, throwing them up there, clank, clank,
Should I
clank.
pull the tape of Game 4 in, where was it, in Cleveland
Game
last
3.
year? Game 3? Yeah, Game 3, yeah, right? Remember what Kevin Durant did at the end of that game?
Yeah.
Whew. Remember that shot he shot right in LeBron's face?
Why didn't you do that last night?
Huh?
Why didn't you do that last night?
Had a bad night. It happens. LeBron has a lot of bad nights.
No, don't do that, Skip
Yeah.
Bayless. Don't do that, Skip
Yeah.
Bayless. He had a golden opportunity on a 6'6" P.J. Tucker.
Yep.
And he passed the ball to a hobble. The man hobbling, had a walking cane out there.
Yeah, I agree. He did. Made a mistake.
He a playmaker now.
You know what? Previous to this, do you realize since Kevin Durant went to Golden State, they're 24-4 going into last night's game. They're 24-4 in the postseason.
Skip, what do you think would happen if you get 3?
Wow.
For
Think
real?
about that. Whew. Difference maker.
Yeah, Skip, we're not arguing his greatness. We're arguing his greatness in the pecking order of where he stands right now. We know he's number 2. It's okay. But you know who that
Boy, I'll tell you what, in all the previous playoff games this postseason, boy, Durant's been a monster. Had a bad game. Bad game.
Is he averaging more points in the playoffs than LeBron? Is he averaging more rebounds or more assists than LeBron?
I don't know. I haven't checked.
You do? Skip,
What did Steve tell you?
Now, Steve ain't tell me nothing. He don't need to come in my ear. Because I told him, don't, when I'm on set, don't bother
Is
me.
he on your IFB?
Nope, I told him, don't bother me.
Well, doesn't he talk to you?
No, I don't. He don't
say
need
this?
to talk. We already
Like he gives you the
we
lines?
No.
Wait, Steve,
No,
go ahead.
we like a coach.
Go ahead.
No, we're like a coach and a quarterback.
That's why you pause occasionally.
I get the instructions.
You're rolling, then you have to pause.
No, I
listen,
get
the next line.
I get the instructions,
Yeah.
and the game plan is already in place. So I already know how this thing gonna go.
Okay.
Woo!
Yeah.
You gonna be sad tonight.
I'm with you. Oh, I didn't pick my score. I got 102-96
Okay, we're
King.
close.
I got the King winning at Boston,
we're both
102 to
picking
96.
Cavs.
Can I
Fairly
get,
close.
Can I get something on the?
No, you can't. I like your team.
No. I'm
Didn't
talking
get
about
anything.
on the stat line.
No. He should have a big stat line. Boston has no single defender who
Whoa,
can
whoa,
keep
whoa,
him
whoa,
from
whoa,
the basket.
whoa! You just told me they're the number 1 defensive team in basketball.
I didn't tell you that
Yeah.
just now. I didn't just tell you that.
No, I'm saying that's what
Well,
you
that's
said.
been a fact all year long.
Okay.
They were from
So-
October.
Okay, so what's the problem now? Are they
Don't
not
have
same
that
team?
guy. Philly's got 2 of those guys who
No.
can keep LeBron from the
The
rim.
the guys that made them the number 1 defensive team all year,
Yeah.
they're still there.
Okay. But can one of them stop 6'9", 270?
Why
Nope.
not? That's
Nope.
a team. That's number 1 team defense in basketball. That's what you keep harping.
No, I don't harp on
guy
it at
that
all.
can't- a guy that
Wait
can't
a second. Wait a second. I picked the Cavs in 5, and I was wrong about that because the King let me down in 1 and
Don't
2.
do this, Kev.
He better not let me down
Don't
in
do that.
5.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Huh?
He ain't let you down.
He did
You let
too.
him down. Every
Oh,
time
please.
you come out here and spew that foolishness about how he's not great.
Yeah.
He's the greatest.
So who was spewing foolishness about how LeBron is playing little or no defense, and then who started locking in and locking down on defense in Game 3?
Yeah.
Maybe he's not 0 dark 30. Maybe he's listening.
And what guy had 4 other guys that go and get in double figures in Game 3, which allowed him to play defense?
Oh, he gets allowed to play defense?
Yeah. Will you pull that heavy workload?
Michael Jordan had a much heavier workload than LeBron, and
No, he didn't.
still played defense.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Well, wait a second. He led the postseason in usage rate 6 times. LeBron's led it
That
1
means
time.
he just had the ball in his hand.
Okay,
Hell,
but
I
he's
can-
doing
I-
stuff.
I can lead in usage rate if I just got the ball up under my arm.
Do you think Michael Jeffrey Jordan was just casually
He's a
dribbling the
scorer.
basketball?
He scored the basketball, Skip. Now
doing
stop.
it all. He's creating every shot that he took.
No. Scottie
Yeah.
Pippen led the team. All those championship years, Scottie Pippen led the team in assists.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan didn't lead the team in assists or rebound in those championship years.
Yeah.
You know that, I know that.
He led the NBA in scoring 10 times, and your guys
He's a
led
scorer.
it once.
He's a scorer.
Oh.
So how many times have you finished in the top 5 in assists? Michael.
5. He was only 1 assist down from in playoff games. LeBron's averaged 7. Michael averaged 6 assists in his playoff.
But when you think,
How do you defend that?
Hold on.
By the way, because Michael didn't even care about assists, and he had 6 just by rolling out of bed.
Well,
do you realize how hard it is to get
LeBron,
6?
And LeBron doesn't care about scoring. He's averaging 29 a game. He doesn't care. Imagine if he cared.
Wow, interesting.
No mercy. The biggest story of the playoffs has been LeBron's pursuit of Michael Jordan as the greatest of all time. LeBron has 2 buzzer beaters in the playoffs, and he just passed Kareem for the most field goals in playoff history. Eddie House is still with us. Eddie, Shannon has said that LeBron has passed Jordan. What's your take?
He crazy. He fell out the bed and bumped his head in the middle of the night.
And by the way, you played with LeBron, so that's interesting.
No, I mean, this is they're 2 different type of players. Everybody's comparing them, but since we're going to do it, the one thing I think LeBron can do he's closing the gap. I'll tell you that. He's closing the gap. He's not there yet. He's never going to catch 6-0, but some of the things he can do is go to the finals an unbelievable amount of times and or beat the Warriors. If he does that, he's going to definitely shrink that gap, and it'll be right there. They'll be the only 2 people in the room. He also can go get an MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year like Michael Jordan did, so he can match that. Since he's matching all these stats and all these numbers, that's something that he can do. But LeBron,
Wait, LeBron would be Defensive Player of the Year?
I mean, I'm saying that's what he has to try to go do.
Man,
No,
that would
we
be a stretch.
ain't concentrating on that.
Oh, okay.
We just gave you a little
But I'm
sample.
saying that's what he had to do. Jordan did that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So to try to, with this comparison, you have to start knocking off some of those accolades that Michael has. You have to go at them. You're never going to catch 6-0, but again, you have to go to the finals a bunch of times and or beat the Warriors team, and then just try to rack up some MVPs, try to get a Defensive Player of the Year. Just do something, a little bit different that you've been doing, because as of right now, it's not even close.
Body of work says yes.
That's the only way that he catches him, though.
Body of work. That's what it is.
Longevity.
Body of work.
Longevity. That's the only way.
I don't know what you want to do, Skip. I mean, the man is about to be 12 times first team All-NBA in 15 seasons. He's led his team in points and assists 15 straight seasons. That's 7 more than anybody else in the history of the game. He's answered clutchness. Well, he's not clutch. How about this? No, because at one point in time, he hit a shot with 2 seconds and they win. That's not clutch because the team still got some time. So now he's hitting these buzzer beaters. He got 5 of those, Skip. That's more than Kobe and Jordan combined? Now, I'm just trying to figure out why when they talk about, okay, they say Mike's the GOAT, why they keep always trying to compare LeBron to him? They ain't comparing KD. You see that dunk? Skip, that made you upset, didn't it? That dunk contest he had in game, it made you upset, the one on Saturday night. He like,
Well, just made me,
Kevin Love pass?
yeah!
just made me wonder why he never did a single dunk contest.
We want you yearning for more. We want you yearning.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Somebody afraid of
No.
the dunk contest?
We've never seen it. We've
Got
never.
that flair like that.
No, he's a power in-game dunker. Skip, Eddie, we've never, ever, ever, and there's a very good chance that in my lifetime, we're never going to see a player like LeBron again. Not with the athleticism, not the guy that can score the basketball, that can make like he can. We're not going to see it again, Skip. We're not. So I'm sorry. It was a great reign. Michael had the GOAT title for a long time. But now there's a new old Billy Goat in town.
Yep.
And his name is one GOAT, James.
Sheep James.
Nope.
Yep. Eddie House, I love you, man. I appreciate that because Eddie's final line was, it's not even close. And it's not even close, which is why I wish you'd quit wearing that mask because I'm having nightmares about that mask. I think you should start a horror movie franchise with that mask.
It is close. Jordan is close to LeBron. He close.
Oh, Lord.
LeBron ain't in the back. LeBron in the front.
Okay, I'm embarrassed by this question, but I'm going to do it one last time just for you, Shannon Sharpe. Obviously, as Eddie pointed out, 6-0 to 3-5. We all know that. But Michael Jordan wins 10 scoring titles to LeBron's 1. Michael made 9 first-team All-NBAs in defense to LeBron's 6 in defense. And obviously, Michael led the league in steals 3 times to LeBron's 0 times. And at age 33 this year, that's why I have a hard time with this winning Defensive Player of the Year next year. But at age 33, LeBron ranked 309th in individual defense this year during the regular season. And at 34, a year older than LeBron is now, Michael made first-team All-Defense NBA for his final time. But that's still pretty great. And Michael Jordan led the playoffs in usage rate 6 times to LeBron's 1. 6 times he had the ball in his hands more than anybody in the playoffs. That's a big workload, and yet I have to stand over here, sit over here, and listen to LeBron James say, I'm the tiredest man in the NBA after games.
Yeah.
Doing what?
Carrying a team.
Carrying a team.
Doing a lot.
Michael carried teams even more than.
No, he didn't.
How about this? 8 times in regular seasons, Michael had the highest usage rate in the entire NBA. LeBron's done that 1 time. Michael obviously played all 82 games 9 times. It took LeBron all the way to this year, his 15th year in the league, to play 82 for the first time in his career. And he's the tiredest man in the NBA.
But Skip, there have been times that Michael Jordan was third on his team in assists. He's 4th in rebounding. LeBron has never finished that far down. You know they're asked more of LeBron than they did Mike.
In playoff assists, LeBron James averages for his career in the playoffs 7 assists. Michael averaged 6 assists in the playoffs. That's pretty good. You know, it's hard to average 6 assists a game. It means he was passing the basketball some.
Even harder to average 7.
Okay, but come on, 7 to 6. So
Okay,
it's
what
not
about rebounding?
glaring.
What about rebounding?
Okay.
All playoff ranks, LeBron is
Regular
1 and
season
3.
rebounds for their whole career. LeBron has averaged 7 rebounds a game. Michael averaged 6 rebounds a game. Wow, that's shocking. That's glaring.
Add that up over 82 games. Add that up over a season. You got a lot of rebounds. So you got like a 2,000 rebounding advantage, right, Eddie?
Okay. So LeBron James has had 14 teammates make the All-Star team. Michael only had 6 teammates make the All-Star team. So that's pretty shocking to me. And Michael never had a teammate average more than 22 points during the NBA Finals, and Kyrie averaged 28, and Dwayne Wade averaged 26 for LeBron in finals. So that's help. That's more help. Wait a second, I'm not finished yet. The floor is mine now, right?
Go ahead.
So Michael Jordan beat 20 50-plus win teams in the playoffs. 20. LeBron's only beaten 10 50-plus win teams in the
How many
playoffs. So that's
70-win teams
20
Jordan
to
beat?
10. Well, I don't know. It's 20 to 10 and 50-plus win. And you love that PER stat, player efficiency rating. And the king is the king of PER. And for his career, he's a big old 28. That's really high. But Jordan, for his career, was 29. And dare I start about free throw shooting?
Hold on, 28, 29. That's
Yeah,
not
it's
that
close. No, I agree. But
okay.
still, LeBron's the king of PER. And how about free throw shooting? Michael, 84%, pretty good. LeBron, 74% for his career. That's pretty awful.
That ain't awful.
For a player of this caliber. And by the way, it took LeBron 9 years to win his first title. Michael won his in 7, and he had to stumble through a lot of Eastern Conference giants.
Why was he stumbling? Now, if he's that guy that you tell me that he is, he shouldn't wait till the big 3 Celtics get old.
You know what? The 86 Celtics swept him, and what was Larry Bird's comment after the sweep was over? That was God disguised as Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? The Spurs didn't say that about LeBron James when they swept him in the finals.
But Skip, you're talking about he got a 22-year-old. Oh. Michael Jordan was his first year in the league at 22, second year in the league at 22. You talking about Skip? You talking about a 22-year-old. Other than Magic Johnson, what 22-year-old gonna go to the finals as the headliner?
No. Is he that guy?
And the year Magic went to the finals, Kareem was the MVP. Now, if you don't mind me asking, how many Defensive Player of the Years have LeBron James played with? Because Dennis Rodman won that award twice. Now,
Did he win it when he was playing with Michael?
So that takes away from him.
No,
So that takes away from him.
No, but it had nothing to do with Michael Jordan. He didn't play with him
So let me ask you,
when
when D Wade hit that 35 points per game in the finals against the Mavericks, was he playing with LeBron then? So that don't have no bearing on it, right? That's what you just said. Okay. What about Pippen? Was Pippen a good player?
He's pretty good.
Top 50.
Michael made him top 50.
No, don't do that, Skip.
Well, I'm doing it because I was there.
You know
I covered the team. I saw it.
You would have a very valid argument had Michael Jordan not retired and Scottie Pippen having 55 and 27 and goes to the All-Star game and wins the MVP. And he also led the league.
He didn't retire. He got forced out.
Okay, he got forced out. And Scottie Pippen led that team, and he was a Hugh Hollins away from going to the Eastern Conference Final. But that's neither here nor there, Skip.
Then what happened to Scottie after Michael did retire after '98? Scottie
went to Houston.
And then he went to Portland. And what happened?
And what did he say? He said Michael told him he shouldn't go to Houston because you know who was there. That was Scotty was dry snitching on Mike.
Interesting.
But anyway, Skip Bayless, you and I both know this. Look, it was a great run, but everything must come to an end.
I got something for you, Shannon.
Yeah.
So you always tell him, listen to the players, right? When it comes to LeBron being the best player in the league right now. Well, I'm a player, listen to this player, right? That's the best. And everybody, all the players that I know, every player that I know, before me, after me, say Michael Jordan's the best player.
Clyde Drexler ain't said it.
Well, because
Isaiah Thomas ain't said it. See,
because when they be getting
See?
Isaiah, don't you know Isaiah and they got a long history. Isaiah,
you see what you're doing?
No, but that's why Isaiah say that. They got a long history.
If somebody says
but see what you doing.
Hold on just a second. If anybody utters the word that LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan, he hating. But if somebody says that Jordan, so why are these players now?
Nobody's saying they
all them lumps that LeBron put upside Kevin Durant's head before he went and joined the 73 and 19.
I'm saying to
what
you
about
that
Paul
everybody
Pierce?
listen. Paul Pierce will say Jordan's the best player.
He should.
Yeah, exactly.
After
Why should he if LeBron's clearly the best player?
Boston,
Come on, please.
Forced him out of New York, Brooklyn.
Stop it.
Forced him out of Washington.
Everybody knows, so just listen. Everybody knows Jordan, the player. LeBron is the best player right now in the game.
He's the best player ever.
And Skip, you need to listen to that. He's the best player right now over KD.
I know.
But overall,
Easy for
the
you to say
GOAT,
today.
Michael
Prisoner
Jordan
of the
is the
moment.
best player.
I disagree with you, Eddie House.
Prisoner of the
And I'm
moment.
not inviting you back on our
Eddie
show
House.
again.
Eddie House. What did you up close and personal witness during the 2011 NBA Finals? The greatest superstar meltdown I have ever witnessed via TV. LeBron James suffered in games 4, 5, and 6 against the Dallas Mavericks.
You bring it up again, it stings. But yeah, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
It was like looking.
He wasn't.
His eyes was there, but I don't know where he was at.
He wasn't. And he said it. He said, they forced me to do things I wasn't comfortable with. So what did he do
He's
without?
the greatest player ever.
At that time, he wasn't.
Oh, I see.
So he went to the lab.
The GOAT. Yeah.
So that's your question. So ever since Michael Jordan was the GOAT,
He got swept, and Larry Bird was like, "That's God
that's
right
like
there."
God disguised as.
You can say what you want to. You can
Jesus
say,
and some Jordan.
How many times have you beaten somebody and you heap praise on them?
Never.
All the time. They do it all the time in the NFL. Oh, that's a heck of a ball. They were talking about how Tom Brady was unbelievable. He's the greatest 41-year-old. But guess who's holding up the trophy? The Eagles.
Yep.
See, you say things about that if you
But
don't
you respect him, though,
and they
what he
respect
did.
you.
Everybody respects
Shannon
LeBron, but
Sharpe.
you got to respect Jordan as being the GOAT.
I love it.
Michael Jordan never melted down in any playoff series the way LeBron did in that one. I'm sorry, it just wouldn't happen. In no way would any Michael Jordan team ever get blown off the floor in an NBA Finals by a record finals margin in 5 games the way your guy did with Dwayne and with Chris Bosh.
Whoa.
Jordan show up and show out every time.
Dwayne,
you got to worry about him.
Now, Joy ain't going to even side with you. D-Wade was hurt that series. D-Wade was a shell of himself. That's why he up out of there.
No, that was not why
That's
he
why
was
he up
out of there.
If he thought D-Wade the knees were healthy.
No, if he thought Pat Riley was going to sign over the Miami Heat to him and
all his partners,
all of his associates, then he would have stayed.
Well, Pat Riley, you keep holding on to that power and see what it gets you. It might get you to the playoffs. It's going to probably get you to the first round, bounce to the
Man,
first
when
round.
Jordan punched in, he brought his lunch pail with him
And
his hard hat.
Hey, guess what? He played 14 years. And how many finals did he win?
I know how many years he
So
played.
if he punching on that clock, he got to be 14 for 14.
He was 6-0.
No.
You can't go to the finals every year.
Bro, I'm going.
No, not every year.
You about to be 8 in a row?
But that ain't every year.
So Jordan,
what about all the other 7?
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
What about Jordan?
Yeah,
So
I know Jordan.
Did they play finals in the 80s?
No, did they play finals when I was in the Western Conference Finals?
I don't know.
Yeah, we did. We was in the final when Miami won the championship. Where was he at?
But he got beat.
Yep. Okay. So there you go. That's
So
the
he about to be
same
8
thing that happened with Jordan. He got beat. But when he went there, just the thing. When he went there, he did not get beat.
Let me ask you a question.
When he got there, he did not get beat.
Let me ask you a question. Did Michael
Didn't
Jordan
even go to Game 6, did he?
Didn't go to Game 7.
Game 7.
Yeah, saying Game 7.
Can I ask you a
Excuse me.
question? Name the team that Jordan faced in those 6-0 finals that
Yeah,
had the firepower with the Warriors.
That's the same thing you could say. Well, who is LeBron beating to get to the finals in the East? That's the same
He
thing.
beat your team.
Whoever's
he
in
beat your
front,
team. The
whoever's
team
in-
you were
listen,
on.
whoever in front of them.
The team you were
No,
on.
the team I was on, we beat them.
Oh,
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
gone then? You were gone then?
Yeah.
Champions
we,
on
yeah, we went to
Hall of
Game
Fame.
7.
Ray
Now
Allen,
we're getting
Hall of Fame.
somewhere.
Paul
Yeah,
Pierce,
yeah,
Hall of
yeah.
Fame.
Plus, we also know that, LeBron
no.
played with Ray Allen also, so don't.
Yeah, we love Ray.
Plus, we know the reason why. No, we love Ray.
We love
You don't
Ray.
get to
I
claim
love
Ray
Ray.
anymore.
Oh, Ray.
You don't get to claim
good
Ray
people.
anymore.
Sugar Ray.
Ray hit that shot on
The
Skip
real
Bayless.
reason he left the Heat was because he didn't like being a villain. He needed to be loved again.
No, he don't need no love.
Eddie, thanks for joining us.
Yep.
No mercy. Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski have been no-shows at the start of OTAs this week in New England. Yesterday, Bill Belichick was asked about both players not being there, and he would not even say their names. Let's take a listen.
Bill, Tom's not here today. Have you guys spoken at length about?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk
plans
about the
are?
people that aren't here. The guys that are here are improving. They're working hard, and those are the guys we're going to focus on.
And Rob Gronkowski mentioned he's going to play next season. He talked about coming to meet with you, and he called it a productive meeting. How much would you share the same view of that time when Rob came in to meet with you?
Yeah, like I said, Mike, I'm focused on the guys that are here, and those are the guys that we're working with in this OTAs process in Phase 3. And those are the guys I'm concentrating on. That's who we're focused on.
We're joined by FS1 NFL analyst and former Patriot assistant Eric Mangini. Welcome back, Eric.
Good to be back. Good to
man.
see you guys. Been a while. Nice to be here.
Oh, where's your partner?
I don't know.
Rob Parker. Eric, what do
hiding
you
out
read into those comments by Bill Belichick?
Nothing. He's been saying exactly the same thing since I was with him back in 1993 in Cleveland when he was the head coach of the Browns. He's never going to talk about a player that's not there because it becomes, it's not one question, it's 30 questions. It consumes the press conference, and that's just what he does. And it actually makes a lot of sense just to move on from it.
So he can't even say, because the guy's the reigning MVP, could say, I'm not worried at all about Tom. He'll be here when it's mandatory. He couldn't just give it a little bit of lip service?
Nope.
No?
Because Coach Belichick, as E-Man, as you said, he's been one thing, he's been consistent. That's the way he addressed all players that are not there at the time that they're doing something, be it OTAs, be it mini camps, or whatever the case may be. I'm worried about the players that are here. I'm not going to address the ones that are not here. And as E-Man said, that's the end question. Because once you go there, now it's 15 questions, nothing else gets asked. It's about Tom, and is it true about Tom? Listen. Tom Brady's not showing up for a reason. I still believe that he's upset because guess what? He could have been resting before. Now, Mr. Kraft had a statement says, he's spending more family. Did Tom Brady's wife just have kids? Because he's been had a family. And he's been coming to OTAs. Now, all of a sudden, after this comes out in early January, now he's not coming. I've always felt that Rob Gronkowski was going to play. I've always felt that he wanted his contract readdressed. And they're going to do that, and he'll be there. But to say that there's nothing going on between Coach Belichick and Tom Brady would be disingenuous because there is. And if you notice, Mr. Kraft said, I spoke to Tom, and Tom is looking forward to coming to minicamp. Coach Belichick refused to address his name. And maybe that's some of the reasons why. Coach Belichick treats everyone the same. Tom says, I'm most responsible for these 5 Super Bowl rings, so you need to address me
that is exactly
on a first-name basis.
That is correct. The most stunning report of the week so far came from the Boston Herald that did report that Tom Brady was working out at the TB12 Sports Therapy Center this week as the team was on the field for non-mandatory workouts.
Hold on, that better not be in Foxborough.
It's not only in Foxborough.
Right next door.
It's right next door.
Yeah.
So is that not in your face, Coach? Isn't that a little message sent? Dare I say a tweak?
Well, this is what it's always been there, is you're either in for the whole day or you're not in for the whole day. And I'm sure Tom wants to work out with his guy.
He did.
And he believes in that, and it's worked for him. So he wouldn't be there for the whole day. So there's no give on that. So if that's the choice that Tom has to make, then that's the choice that Tom has to make. I think over time, you've got to adjust those rules. And I think this is an area with a guy who's in unprecedented territory where Bill could adjust those rules. Tom's going to be fine. He came back from the 4-game suspension, threw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. He'll be fine missing the OTA practices. It's actually good for Brian Hoyer and Danny Etling. I think that works out well also. But if Bill wanted him there, then he would have to make an adjustment, and he's not willing to do that. And Tom's
So in other words, that is a something burger, because you're working out next door, and you're in earshot. Hey, Coach, I'm over here. So theoretically, he could yell that out. So he's not there. Why isn't he there? I mean, so he didn't just start working with Guerrero, did he?
No.
Did he just start last year working with Guerrero? He's been working with him for an extended period of time. And guess what, Skip? He showed up for OTAs. Now, all of a sudden, he has a family, which he's been married for like 9, 10 years. He's always had a family. Now, his family, Giselle been trying to get him retired for 5 years. And he been Heisman posing her for 5 years about retirement. He's got kids. Now, all of a sudden, he wants us to believe, or they want us to believe that everything's okay. And Tom, there are other quarterbacks there that could get reps. Tom was there taking up all the reps. Now, I know he was there taking the rep from Jimmy G, because old Jimmy G had his eye on something, Coach. You know it. And Coach Belichick, yeah, Jimmy, that's a good job, Jimmy. It was okay, Tom. Good job, Jimmy. You go Jimmy G that good old. I ain't gonna say no more.
To me, this is just a function of the rules, and they've always been that way. And either you're going to be there for the whole day, or you're not. And Tom decided I'm not. And it actually works out okay for New England and for Bill in the sense that he's able to keep that consistent with everybody else who's there, and it really won't affect the overall scheme or progress or any of those things.
Did he?
Yeah.
He just implemented that rule this year? That was just the rule this year. You had to be there for the whole day and not half the day, okay?
No,
but he been showing up for that rule. But
But wasn't Guerrero allowed to be there in the past? I think that's
in the
changed
past,
too.
but not this past football season. He
cut it off.
Off the sidelines, off the team plane. So recently, Tom Brady was asked 2 questions, and he responded stunningly to me. I'm curious, you knew him pretty well, Tom Brady, and you still know him pretty well from your days coaching in New England. But Tom Brady was asked, do you feel appreciated enough by your franchise? And he said, I plead the fifth. Now, that's when I heard that, that's the most stunning thing I've ever heard from Tom Brady's lips. And then, Tom, are you happy? And he said, I have my moments. Really? And this was in the football context. So clearly he's saying, this is in Tom Brady's world, that those are outrageous statements from Tom Brady to at least send the message that I do not like where we're heading as a franchise, because I don't like my head coach and the way he's treated me, or the lack of respect he's shown for me.
Yeah, see, I don't see it that way. I see the first comment as Tom trying to be funny, and look, he's not going to do stand-up. That's not his thing.
You think he was just trying to be funny?
The I plead the fifth one, and is he happy? That's a hard building. It's hard to work there. It's hard because you have to go in every day with a very specific mindset, and when you're 18 years into it, and you're 18 years into any relationship, it's that much harder. So, is he happy all the time? No, it's not. It's not piñatas. It's not casual Fridays. That's not the way the building is. It's a lot of really hard work.
How long did it get like this?
What do you mean?
Get hard, where you have to come in with a specific mindset in order to endure and to thrive there?
Look, it's been like that forever, but now he's 40 years old. Yeah. He's got a family. He's got other things, and there should be an evolution with that relationship. He's not the same kid that he used to be.
It's going to be an evolution. When he leaves or Coach Belichick leaves, that's going to be the evolution. Because the thing is that how do you want to play until your mid-40s when you're happy sometimes? I mean,
but there's a lot of people that are great performers that aren't happy. I mean, Jerry Rice, people would talk about Jerry Rice and how he'd come in every day to work afraid that he was going to be cut, and he used that fear to fuel him. You know, you can be uncomfortable, and that could help drive you to be successful.
Yeah, but I think if Bill Walsh would have said that guy, I don't know how Jerry would have liked that. You know, Jerry liked to hear his name called. Trust me on that one.
Yeah, and Coach, 2 huge turning points for Tom Brady. He suffers, however he suffered it, a big cut on the base of his thumb on his throwing hand ahead of the AFC Championship game. And after the game, after Tom pulled off another rather miraculous fourth-quarter comeback, Bill Belichick just sniffed at it. What was his line about?
It wasn't open heart surgery.
Not exactly open heart surgery, and it was more of a media circus, right, than a football crisis, right? Well, you can't. So Tom, in Tom versus Time, episode 6, make sure he shows the deep cut required 12 stitches to close. I mean, that's a pretty serious quarterback injury to have on the eve of the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, right? It is absolutely a significant injury, but Bill's not going to talk about that after the game and sing a bunch of praises. They had another game to go, and they had to play the next game. And when has he ever taken a step back and said, okay, this guy coming off of injury, it was such an incredible performance? It's not how he's wired. It's always how it's been.
It's Tom Brady pulling another rabbit out of your hat, right?
But he does that on a consistent basis. He makes
agree.
that the norm. So to have Bill suddenly start praising him after all this time, that's not going to happen.
Well, Tom, like, I want a little love over here.
Yeah, just a
little
little love.
And look, Tom deserves a lot of love. There should be a thankfulness in that building, in that organization, for Tom Brady that runs extremely deep. And I do think there should be some concessions for him at this point in his career, where maybe other players don't have that. You gotta adjust.
And by the way, Coach, I believe that Tom Brady will forever hold it against his head coach for not playing Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl. Not a snap.
Here's what I think they should be looking at in OTAs. Like, forget about Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. They're going to come out and they're going to score a ton of points again this season. Tom's going to play really well. What are they doing defensively? Who's running that deep? That's what everybody should be watching in New England. Nobody's talking about that. Don't worry about Tom being next door. Worry about who's calling the defense and who's playing for that defense.
Well, Coach Belichick got this.
Okay.
You know, Coach Belichick, a coach I trust.
We thought
He's
he
most
had it,
responsible
and
for those
he gave up
rings.
41
they
Super
hung
Bowls.
40 on him in the Super Bowl. So
He had a bad game. He had a bad call. That was Matt Patricia's
Eric,
fault.
thanks for joining us.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. Join us again same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.